Are you a fan of Jurassic Park and you want to actually go and dig up your own dinosaur bones? Well, now you can in Jurassic Parts. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dice Odyssey. I'm Kaz. Today we're going to be talking about this game by 25th Century Games, Jurassic Parts. I love that little play on words. I love Jurassic Park personally, and so I was naturally intrigued to receive this preview copy and to talk about it today. This game is basically an area control game in which you are trying to break up the ground with dinosaur fossils and to actually construct your own and try. It's set collection. You're trying to construct your own dinosaur and get points for doing so. And you're going to have competing chisel sticks. I love that word, I just made it up. You're gonna have competing chisel sticks as you're sitting and you're laying your chisels down, trying to break up the ground, and you're trying to do it before someone else, or at the very least, you're trying to get more chisels than someone else around a particular area so that you have the first shot at gaining that particular fossil. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get you over the table, give you a general brief overview of how it plays, and then we'll get back to my final thoughts. Keep in mind, this is a Kickstarter preview. All of this is pre-production. Everything could be subject to change. In Jurassic Parts, life finds a way. Your goal is to split up the massive slab of rock and gain the different kinds of dinosaur fossils that will make completed dinosaurs. There are a number of different characters to choose from, as well as a field leader that you'll be able to use as a market area. There are the random bones, which are basically wilds that if you gain them, you can use them to fill in whatever part of the dinosaur fossils you do not have to complete it. You also have pterodactyls, which in and of themselves count as a completed dinosaur fossil. Every time you have a completed dinosaur fossil, you can gain 1 amber. Amber in this game counts as money, and it also counts for points at the end of the game. On your turn, you'll take 3 dull chisels and put them over to the sharp chisel side. If you play a chisel on an area that has no rocks, it only costs you 1 chisel, and you place it out on the field. If you play on an area that has at least one side with rocks, you will dull 1 chisel, and then you will play another chisel out on that area. But if there are both sides containing rocks, you will dull 2 chisels and put 1 chisel on that area. At any point in time on your turn, you may interact with the field leader. You may pay the field leader amber for your next 2 chisels to ignore rocks. To sharpen 2 chisels, you can take any fossil from the field, or you may take any fossil from the actual field leader. You may also sell any 1 fossil to the field leader for an amber. Now, if you do this all on 1 turn, for every action you take, it's going to cost you more and more in amber. Now, at some point, you're going to have a split in the field. If it's into 2 uneven halves, the smaller half is awarded to the players. For every person that contributed chisels to the split, there is a possibility they will earn something from it. The more chisels you contribute, the higher your rank is on what you get. If 2 or more players each contributed equally, starting with the current player and going clockwise will determine which player wins the tie. Each player takes half rounded up of the fossils split from the field. Leftover fossils that no player claimed belong to the field leader. If the slab was split into 2 even halves, the active player decides which of 2 even halves will be broken up and claimed. Whenever you finish a completed dinosaur, you gain an amber. The game is over when all fossil tiles have been claimed from the field. Once the game is over, players then count up all of their points. Person with the most points at the end wins. Now, there is an optional variant which will allow players to have item cards which will help them in the game. You may get something like a microscope, receive a bonus amber when you complete a 4 or 5 part dinosaur, a doctoral thesis, you can resolve a tie in your favor, and so on and so forth. Now, that's pretty much how you play. Let's get back to my final thoughts. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you're basically doing area control on the board, trying to vie for certain areas where you can get as many fossils as you can that may be able to complete some of your dinosaurs. I like the theme. The theme naturally speaks to me. I'm a massive fan of Jurassic Park. I really like Dinosaur Island. Have not played Dinogenics yet. I kind of need to try that out. But most of the time, if you tell me there's going to be dinosaurs in a game, I'm very interested in it. So I also like the idea that it's kind of a filler. it kind of rides the line about like between a filler and a little bit of a larger game, but not really. It's more filler. I mean, for 2 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes sounds about right. You can actually edge that 30-minute time frame down just a tiny bit if you're playing just 2 players. I like the idea also that you have a market that if you're not doing well on the area control part of the board, if you have some amber, you can go ahead and pay the field leader and get yourself a fossil that somebody else sold that they may not need. So I like the fact that you can mitigate the problem of not getting what you need necessarily on the field at all times, and you're still running a chance you can buy what you need to complete what you need in terms of the fossilized dinosaur. I do love also, I know this is all pre-production, but I really felt like the quality on everything was very high quality for what it is. The tile's not quite there yet, but again, it's pre-production. I have to imagine they're going to do a great job in getting these jokers high quality by the time this sucker funds, which I truly believe it will. I love the artwork too by Andrew Bosley. As you know, he also did Tapestry, and I want to say he did Everdell as well. Never played Everdell, but I believe he also did Everdell, and his artwork is growing on me. I'm a massive Vincent Dutrait fan, and the fact that I'm starting to remember another artist instead of just his name, specifically, I'm starting to remember Andrew Bosley's name is a good thing. And I will say this, I like the idea when it came to the plant fossils of collecting more and more of them, like, basic set collection, which the game overall is. But I like the fact that the more that you collect, the higher your point total is. It reminds me a little bit of the paintings in Cash and Guns 2.0. I really enjoyed that aspect. You're always kind of on a race to try to get as many of those paintings as you can. It's the same kind of thing here. Of course, you don't always know where the plants are going to be, so it kind of balances itself out. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to be going to very specific spots all the time. Now, they may go for other things, but I'm talking about for the plants specifically. So I like that idea. It felt like a little bit of a race, Now, to be honest with you, I was slightly let down just a little that these players, or the characters, didn't appear to have their own asymmetric player powers. I'm a massive fan of asymmetrical player powers in games. Like, I'm somebody completely different from you, and you can't do what I do. But there is a little bit of a workaround with that, because there is an optional, the optional power deck here. I guess that's what it's called. I'm forgetting the name of it. But you can use different kinds of cards to give your characters different kinds of powers. They're one use. You can give them 1, maybe 2 cards, and you can choose at different times of the game when to play these cards. Other than that minor issue I had with it, the game itself is quite fun. Again, if you like the theme, you'll probably naturally be drawn into this game. And I like the idea that it's a simpler game. It's not a convoluted game at all. You'll pick this up probably within 3 or 4 turns. It's not hard at all to figure out. And I like also the idea that most of the time you're going to get something. You're not always just left out in the cold, especially if somebody's been turning in a bunch of fossils to that team leader, and you're just not finding what you need on that board. You'll find something usually. So anyway, this game is going to be up on Kickstarter very soon. Go check it out. 25th Century Games has really been hitting it out of the park with me. Jurassic Park. And with a lot of their games lately, I really like Space Explorers. I really, really like Christmas Lights. They tend to specialize in these smaller, more filler style games, but some of their games have some really cool complexity and depth that you don't always expect out of it. So anyway, go check this out on Kickstarter. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, The Dice Odyssey. Please comment down below. Do you like dinosaur games? Do you like games like Dinosaur Island or Dinogenics? Does this theme capture you a little bit? Anyway, thank you so much. You have a blessed day, and game away. This video is brought to you by Fallen Dominion Studios. Check out their website at fallendominionstudios.com.